Welcome back. Well, we've been talking all things Summit League hoops, but we're going to switch gears to the Northern Sun for a bit.
Give the Northern Sun some love.
We have to. Well, joining me today to talk about the Northern Sun, it's our expert, David Brown, who's going to tell us all about it. But anyways, how's it going, David?
Good. Yourself?
I'm great, thank you. All right, well,
basketball has started the new year.
I know.
Everything's good right now.
Everything's great in my world if there's basketball going on. But let's talk about one of the most impressive teams so far, not only in the Northern Sun, but in the nation. The Augustana women, still undefeated, 10-0 in Northern Sun play, 14-0 overall. Why are they so good?
They're efficient. It's really just that plain and simple. For years, head coach Dave Krauth, he's kind of relied on depth and players that can do a variety of different things. But this year, those players, they're just fundamentally sound and they know their roles. A player like Logan O'Farrell from Summit, she's developed into one of the best two-way players in the country, leads the team not only in scoring but also in steals. In fact, she leads all of Division II in steals. A player that you can rely on during crunch time. Her twin sister Presley has also picked up the scoring slack this year in particular after being inserted into the starting lineup. Then you look at their post players. Shelby Sellen, Paige Peterson, Naomi Russ. By design, they're all post-up players, but they have the ability to hit mid-range shots and the three-pointers, stretching the opposing defense. And then you look at the bench. Girls like Allie Kane, Hannah Matoxen, Abby Orr, players who still get nearly 20 minutes a game, and they use them to their advantage. Abby Orr had a career-high 18 off the bench in the Vikings win over Minnesota State Friday. The weapons that Augustana has make them so difficult to guard, and the fact that they can play at a traditionally fast pace on offense while also forcing the most turnovers in the league on defense shows why that efficiency is why they still haven't lost. They have a giant test this weekend, though, Kelly. They're on the road at Northern State, at MSU Moorhead. The team's considered 1-2 in the preseason poll. We are going to know a lot more about Augustana by this time next week, but it is the efficiency of these players, knowing Dave Krauth's system. He's been there for nearly 30 years. He has a system in place. These women know what they sign up for when they commit to Augustana, and honestly, the players are accepting their roles, and they're just thriving right now.
Yeah, great culture right there. I do have to say, I coached Logan O'Farrell for like one drill at basketball
And that
camp.
one drill is the
and
reason she leads the nation in steals.
Yeah, that's got to be it, because I was so great at steals in college. Anyway,
Were you good on defense?
No. Anyways, so we talked about Augie, obviously undefeated, one of the best teams in the nation. Great test this weekend, but let's talk about the rest of the Northern Sun. Who are some teams, or what is the team that's maybe flying under the radar a little bit?
And under the radar is kind of a loose term because they're 13-1, but I'm going to go with Winona State. I think in this region, the Dakotas, Western Minnesota, when you discuss the NSIC, people tend to think of Augie and Sioux Falls, Northern State, MSU Moorhead. But out in the eastern part of Minnesota, Winona State's women, they're doing it with just one senior on the team. That's Hannah McGlone. Granted, she's far and away their best player, but on a team with a lot of underclassmen being thrust into different roles, McGlone has sort of been that steadying force for Winona State. She leads the NSIC in rebounding, averaging more than 11 boards a game, also scoring nearly 16 points a contest. And I think her presence and reliability is allowing others to flourish. Case in point, Winona State's second leading scorer is a true freshman, Allie Pickering. This is a team that's kind of the opposite of Augustana. They don't like to run up and down. They're bottom quarter of the league in three-pointers, but they play solid defense and they get efficient shots near the basket. The Warriors should be right in the thick of things later this season. Augustana still has to play them twice, so those will also be big battles coming down the stretch here.
Yeah, maybe not as an exciting style of play, but if you get
it wins,
done, yeah, we'll take the W. All right, we're going to switch gears to the men's side, and specifically I want to talk about Northern State.
They're good.
They're good. They're great. And 15 consecutive wins for the Wolves, 16-1 overall. But you look at a team like that, who kind of gets the most credit for their success?
Obviously, the players play, but you have to say it's the head coach, Paul Sather, and the players are the ones, as I said, putting in the dirty work on the court. But Sather's putting them in a position to succeed. Now, keep this in mind. This is basically the same Northern State team as a season ago, save for one key player. The Wolves weren't bad last year by any stretch of the imagination. They had a 22-8 record. They were great. This year, however, they're elite because of the way the lineups are put forward. Northern State has two true old-school post players, 6'8" Logan Doyle, 6'10" Carter Evans. Now, neither of them plays more than 21 minutes a game, and that's because they're always being substituted for one another. To my knowledge, they have yet to be on the court at the same time this season. So what does that do? It frees up the other four players on the court to space things up and shoot. Doyle and Evans have not attempted a three-pointer this season, nor should they, by the way. But the six other players on Northern State who average at least 13 minutes a ball game, they're all shooting better than 35% from three-point territory. Sather has established an inside and outside game that complement each other perfectly. And then only one player in the regular rotation is smaller than 6'4". So what does that mean? You have a lot of guys with large wingspans wreaking havoc on defense. They lead the conference in scoring defense by nearly 5 points over the second-place team in Minot State. The players play, but a good coach like Paul Sather gives those players the system to flourish, and that's why they're doing so well up in Aberdeen.
Players play. I also like the old school post-player reference. You don't
Exactly.
see that anymore.
Not a lot, but they've complemented that with those shooters, which is sort of the new school mentality.
New school, old school. It's all working. But same to what I asked you on the women's side. What's kind of a team that's flying under the radar?
And again, under the radar is a bit loose term, but you should pay attention to Minnesota State and Mankato. Again, hard to be under the radar with a 12-3 record. But the Mavericks, I know they nearly blew a 24-point lead to Augustine on Friday night. I was there, but there's a reason they were up that much in the first place. They started that game on a 17-0 run, withstood the Augustana comeback, and ended up winning in overtime. He's not a great pumpkin, but Charlie Brown has become a true floor general for Minnesota State.
Oh my.
Hey, if your name's Charlie Brown, you have to make as many Peanuts references
to.
as possible. Charlie Brown finds open teammates while also having the ability to create space, driving for easy layups, or driving and kicking to open shooters. Guys like Kevin Creeker, Carlos Anderson, Chris Kendricks, Cameron Kirksey, Cole Harper, all are unafraid to post up, clean up the glass, shoot, and be physical. That's always kind of been a hallmark of a Matt Margenthaler coach team. They're always physical, not in a dirty way, but in a play hard, dive for loose balls, sort of get in the scrum kind of way. Minnesota State missed the NCAA tournament last year, Kelly, for just the second time since 2004. The Mavs certainly appear to be on their way back again if they keep playing this way. They're physical, they're tough, they rely on a lot of transfers. Last year, those transfers didn't gel as much. This year, they are.
All right, we'll see how it all plays out. And then a doubleheader this Friday, right, in the NSIC?
Absolutely. We got Minnesota Crookston at Southwest Minnesota State Friday, January 12th. Women's game at 6, men's game at 8. Men's game, you'll see two of the best guards in the NSIC, Harrison Cleary for the Golden Eagles and Ryan Brueggemann for the Mustangs. Should be a great battle on both sides.
All right, great stuff as always. Thank you, David.
Thank you much.
All right, next on Midco Sports Tonight, we will send it up to Grand Forks to hear from men's basketball head coach Brian Jones, who's with our Alex Heinert. We'll be right back.